not taking personal readings at this time. Please do not get scammed by people posing as me in the comments section. Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome to my channel, Roseology. So today's reading is pretty self-explanatory. We're getting all the details on you guys' soul contracts that you are currently completing, about to complete, and we're going to be looking into how these contracts have evolved you consciously, what is being brought into your life since completing or after completing this soul contract. We're going to be pulling messages from spirit and more to get as much information as we can about you guys' soul contracts. So hopefully you all have been doing good. We're just going to jump straight into, I'm going to show you guys the oracle cards that I am using in today's reading. So we have the Essential Oil Oracle cards, the Soul's Journey Lesson cards, the Citadel, a Fantasy Oracle, the Spellcasting Oracle cards, and the Odyssey Oracle. Getting to the disclaimers in the meditation, obviously this is a general reading, meaning that it will resonate with who it is meant to resonate with. Tarot does not control or dictate your life. If you hear something that you do not like or agree with and think that you are just fixed to that reality, then you are not using my readings correctly. I conduct these readings for confirmation, not answers. If you hear something for the first time, please do not take that message without receiving further confirmation from your higher self and spiritual team. Realize at the end of the day, you have the final say with your destiny. Your free will is your power, and what you choose to do with it will determine your life outcomes, not a pick a card reading on YouTube. So please be responsible and accountable for your own actions and use this as a guide to help decipher the messages that your spiritual team has been trying to send you all along. If you would like to participate in this meditation, then this is a general reading for the collective. So in order for this reading to resonate with you, you need to be synced into the energy of this reading. To help you do that and to help you select a pile with your third eye and not your physical ones, I will be offering a 60-second meditation. Halfway into it, I will be placing crystals for my clairvoyants that like to pick piles with objects on them. And after the clairvoyant pile selection, there will be a clairaudient selection where I play a different tone for each pile, and you can select a pile based off of which tone resonates with you the most. If you are drawn to another pile, that's because there is another message for you in that pile. If you're ready, get into a relaxed position, become aware of your entire body, starting with your feet and working that awareness up in sections from the feet to the head. Then take a deep breath in through your nose for around 5 seconds. Hold that breath for 3 seconds and then exhale for 6 to 7 seconds. Then ask your guides, spirit, ancestors, the universe, or all of them to connect you to your higher self so you can receive confirming messages as to the soul contract that you are completing in your life. So this is pile number 1, pile number 2, and pile number 3. On pile 1, I believe, is Labradorite. On pile 2 is Citrine. On pile 3 is Opalite. Pile 1, welcome to your reading. So we're going to be starting off you guys' tarot cards here to look into the soul contracts in your life that you have completed. So getting started with your tarot cards, we have the Knight of Wands, the Three of Wands, and the Six of Wands. Okay, this is fun. So you might definitely be an Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, or Rising with these Three Wands cards here. This is a lot of fire. And I know that this reading is about what soul contracts have expired in your life or that you have completed. And we'll pull some oracle cards later to see if that comes up. But what I'm feeling for you, just looking at your tarot cards, is that you actually haven't completed the soul contract just yet. You're on the way to doing it though, because the Knight of Wands, it talks about taking action in the present tense. This is something that is currently unfolding or on the way. Three of Wands, it talks about seeing a world of possibilities in front of us and endless potential for discovery. There's a calling that we are being pulled to travel towards in the Three of Wands, very kind of like TBD. And Six of Wands is the card of success or being propped up on a pedestal. That could also talk about a current event or something that is about to take place when it comes to victory or success, overcoming obstacles. So again, each of your cards indicate to me that you haven't completed this soul contract yet, because you still haven't experienced a major victory that you are meant to have. It's written in your Akashic records. It is a part of your destiny. And if we were to look at your natal chart and the current transits, I would not be shocked if they line up to confirm that this achievement is on the horizon for you. It's close. Three of Wands right here, but it just hasn't materialized yet. Your soul contract is complete, Pile 1, when you realize as well that you are a light worker. And I don't mean that like on the surface level way, like as like a healer or something, but as in someone whose story is meant to ignite other souls and awaken them in a very specific way. You guys have not fully accepted that you are a light worker just yet, which has also impacted the way that you harness your own power or the way that you use it. Because light workers they are exactly what they sound like. Like they are anointed beings that are talented in the ways of fire, which we see present in each of your cards here, or in other words, light, because that's what fire, esoterically translates to, or they're connected. Fire, light, spirit, it's all connected. So a light worker knows how to work the light, or in other words, they know how to take their own spirit, dial it to a specific frequency, and then project it so other beings who are maybe trapped or idle in one vibrational state can access a different one. So as incarnates here, one of the main things that we forget about pretty regularly is our own spirit and the fact that it is alive and living. Existing, it pretty much happens on autopilot. Like we're always aware that we're here having this human experience, right? But to live and experience the feeling of your spirit shifting, dancing, awakening, coming alive, enlightening, that is when transcendence occurs and we are lifted from the density of being a human being. So light workers are a lot like an artist at a potter's wheel, where they can basically bend theirs and others' spirit into a specific shape. They know how to make you feel your spirit, how to make you more aware of it, or better yet, they know how to help you remember that you're not just existing, but you are a living entity. And they help facilitate the process of you waking up to that fact, that Kundalini rising. And this is where enlightenment happens. So a light worker can move the spirit through any medium, right? They could be a healer, a pastor, a teacher, a yoga instructor, a musician, a photographer, a painter, a doctor, a life coach, a trainer, a hairdresser, an influencer, a mechanic. Fill in the blanks. It doesn't matter, because their profession is as relevant as the outfit that they put on for the day. But the ability that they hold in their soul is special. And usually a soul who needed help remembering who they are, they never forget encountering a light worker, and especially what that light worker made them feel. Because once a soul experiences an awakening, they never forget it. That code is activated after that. And once you embrace this journey of becoming a light worker, that's when your soul contract pretty much begins for a lot of you. Or it could be a different soul contract from this one, but I feel like it's definitely connected here with all these Wands cards, fire energy showing up. So this isn't like a seasonal thing for you. In other words, Pile 1, this contract is a lifelong contract. Also watch out for 111 or 1111 as well, repeating ones. You're also meant to use your own light working abilities to illuminate your own path. Okay. So a lot of you are going to notice that you maybe try to go to other people or other sources for clarity, for insight, for answers. And you'll notice that a lot of what you hear or what is told to you, you're going to resonate with it in a way where it's like you already knew that. Okay. So don't be shocked if like you guys like go to therapy or I don't know, an intuitive, or, you know, you get these sort of like, you try to get extra information about your own journey. And again, just don't be shocked if it's like, well, this is something that I already knew. Okay. Because of the fact that when you are a light worker, you already have like a heightened awareness of your purpose, your journey, your spirit, your path. And it's something that you're aware of from probably a very young age as well. A lot of the information that you're going to learn that feels and sounds like new information, you're going to learn it directly from source and from your spiritual team. There's not going to be a lot of middlemen involved in helping you sort of like become aware of new things about yourself, your journey, your path, and your incarnation. Okay, let's see what the soul contract is here to help you realize about yourself. We have here Rose and Compassion, and under this one was really trying to hold on, I'm gonna read it for you guys. We also have here Grapefruit underneath the deck and Women's. So Rose here is Compassion. Trigger statement, it says, I am unlovable. True statement, I am love. Your heart is healing and expanding with love. Spend time showering yourself with that love and then share it with others. Okay, so this is something that your soul contract is also here to help you realize, is that you are lovable, that you are loved, that you are always connected to the idea of love or source itself, which is just unconditional love, powerful love. We also have here Women's that kind of wanted to come out for you. Soften. Trigger statement, I take control. True statement, I am compassionate. Take a moment and allow yourself to see things from your heart center, from that place. Allow your intuition to guide you. So this is about your intuition illuminating your path. You guys being very, very in tune with your divine feminine energy, your subconscious energy. This is the part when we're dealing with feminine energy, we're dealing with the element of water, and water is a container. It holds memories, which is just like divine codes to help us understand our path, why we're here, help us unlock our purpose, and to even do our purpose. So you guys are also, this soul contract is also going to help you develop an even tighter relationship with your own divine feminine energy as well. Okay. And maybe even your emotions. If you guys notice that it's like for you, your emotions is something that you've had to work a long time at connecting with or understanding. That is also something that the soul contract is really going to put you guys into alignment with. We also have your Grapefruit. Nourishment. Trigger statement, it is all my fault. True statement, I see what I truly need. Your energetic body needs nourishment, so begin to discern physical hunger from spiritual hunger. Cherish your body and the way that it supports you. This is another thing that your soul contract is going to help you realize, is what actually nourishes you. Okay, you guys have a lot of wand energy here. Wand energy, or the element of fire, is masculine energy. It's very active, and it's all about being a provider. So the fact that all three of your oracle cards here, they feel very connected to, and they sound very connected to the divine feminine, is interesting, because when we need to be nursed back to health, when we need nourishment, when we need to feed our soil or our roots, we usually retreat back to the mother or divine feminine energy. And so you guys, a soul contract is going to put you on the direct path and in alignment with what you truly need, not just what you feel like you're supposed to go after or chase after. So you guys are going to notice as you work through your soul contract that yes, there's going to be a lot of victories and a lot of success, because it's like you guys is like soul contract. It feels like it's very connected to your profession, or your purpose, what you're meant to do in life, the legacy that you're building and that you're going to leave behind. It feels very, very connected to your soul contract. And that may be why one of the last messages that came through for you is that your soul contract is lifelong. It's not a seasonal thing. So for you guys, I feel like as you work through your soul contract, yes, you're going to experience a lot of success, a lot of prosperity, a lot of victories, a lot of overcoming challenges. You're going to experience a lot of challenges that you end up overcoming. That has a lot to do with the experience of your specific soul contract, pile one. But at the same time, you guys are going to quickly realize that even though you're experiencing a lot of victory and a lot of success, that there's something deeper there that's meant to feed you through the success. And it's what your soul needs. It's the nourishment that your soul needs. So it's less about the amount of money that you make, for example, and it's more so about experiencing security, because soul needs to feel, every living being needs to feel secure in order to be nourished, properly nourished, right? So yeah, there's going to be deep nourishment that you guys experience through your soul contract as well, and fulfilling it. Let's see what lesson the soul contract is here to help you accomplish. We have here gratitude and then patience. So even understanding how timing works, or divine timing, appreciating time as well, with gratitude and patience coming out, because we have the Knight of Wands. All three of your cards are Wands cards, and fire energy, wand energy, it moves very quickly. Okay, so learning how to pace yourself is another thing, another very divine lesson that is attached to you guys' soul contract, with patience here saying that I accept that everything happens in divine order. And then we also have here gratitude, saying, I'm thankful for this life and the opportunities that it presents. A lot of you guys' opportunities are going to come through challenges that you end up overcoming. You are fated to overcome a lot of challenges in your life with the Six of Wands. The Six of Wands is not just about success and victory. You know, in order to have success, you have to achieve something. In order to achieve something, that means that you had to overcome a challenge or maybe a difficulty, right? So for you guys, a lot of your soul contract is going to end up building you up or empowering you, where you realize like, wow, I'm a very powerful being. And it's going to help you develop a deep appreciation for yourself, as well as divine order, divine timing. You guys will also notice as well with this patience card right here, that there's a lot of things that end up, you know, you may end up dealing with a challenge for a certain point in time in your life, and then all of a sudden it just kind of frees up and things work so seamlessly, so smoothly. And that's because there's so much divine time that's orchestrating things in you guys' life. Or you guys will end up noticing that a lot of the wins that you experience, it's like you'll end up realizing afterwards that it was like, oh, it just wasn't time, you know, for me to experience that yet. It wasn't that, it wasn't that I was meant to fail. It was just that it wasn't time for me to have that experience yet. Let's see what this soul contract, well, since it's a lifelong contract, let's see what the lessons of your soul contract is bringing up in your life. Okay. Oh, wow. We got forgiveness and then clarity. So the older that you guys get, the more that you move through your soul contract, pile one, the easier, maybe not easier, but like the more forgiveness is going to make sense to you. I'll put it that way. With both clarity and forgiveness coming out, this is what's going to be freed up as you guys move through your soul contract, is you're going to notice that for you, forgiveness makes more sense as you move through your soul contract. There's going to be things, or even certain people, certain chapters in your life, certain experiences that are going to become easier over time to forgive, because your soul contract is going to help you realize that your power was never held up by anybody else's choices or any other experiences that you ever had in your life, you know, because it's like sometimes we can look back on certain experiences that we had and been like, you know, if it wasn't for that, I'd be here in my life. And you guys are going to, a lot of your life is just going to, or your soul contract is meant to happen in a way where, again, you just come to embracing, harnessing, and working your own light and your own power. Okay. So with forgiveness and clarity here, this is what your soul contract is freeing up a lot of slowly over time, especially with patience here, talking about divine order, divine timing. Slowly over time, your own path is going to become clearer and clearer and clearer as you work through this soul contract. It's just that certain things are meant to clear up for you or resolve for you when the time is right. Not before, not after. It has to be the right timing. So there's going to be certain times where you're like, I'm finally able to move past this, or I'm ready to move past this with forgiveness. And like we talked about when I was just looking at you guys' tarot cards, you guys may try to go and get readings from people, or even like therapy, and getting some extra insight and clarity and realize that it's like, I already kind of knew that, already kind of felt that. This is not something new to me. And it looks like it's a crystal ball in this clarity card right here. You guys are your own oracle. It's just a matter of working through your soul contract and allowing divine timing to reveal things to you. Okay. Okay, let's get some additional messages for you, pile one, with your soul contract. And we have coming out for you the cartographer, a crossroads and exploration, and then the astronomer, discovery and auguries. So with the cartographer here, this is talking about, for me with you guys, like direction, because not only do we have the cartographer, we also have the astronomer underneath the deck. So you guys are very closely related to astrology, astronomy. So that kind of confirms to me that you do consult other sources of information or knowledge in order to learn, in order to gain more clarity and learn more about your own path and your own incarnation. With the cartographer and astronomer right here, you guys are really looking for a lot of guidance. You're looking for maybe direction. You're looking for where you're supposed to go, what you're supposed to do. So with the cartographer here, a crossroads and exploration, you guys are meant to explore the crossroads. You're meant to explore especially the times in your life where you feel directionless, where you feel like your path isn't clear. That is when you're meant to almost have like this hermit sort of pilgrimage or journey where you really dive into the unknown. You dive into the confusion. You dive into the question mark. And you allow the question to teach you. You allow that to activate your own internal wisdom, because that is how you guys are going to discover the answers that you truly resonate with, is by sitting with your own questions. And really, the more curious you are about your own path, the more that is going to be illuminated for you. With the cartographer here, a crossroads and exploration, and then the astronomer, discovery and augury. Augury talks about kind of like divination, using omens and prophecy in order to map out the future. So again, you guys may really rely on fortune telling or fortune telling sciences and arts in order to understand your path better, because so much of it may seem like a mystery to you, but the mystery itself is what is going to activate and awaken you guys' wisdom. Also, the mystery is another almost like light worker in your own life that is meant to activate your own light. It's meant to enlighten your own spirit. Okay, so again, allow the mystery to guide you and to lead you. And then a final message for you, pile one. Okay, underneath the deck here, we have fracture. This card, it fell out face down. I'm still going to show you. We have here siren. And then the card that fell out face up for you is shimmer. And shimmer here says, oftentimes when we know deep in our gut that something must change, our brain clings tighter to the old ways. We feel that so much is shifting already, and we may even be able to point to massive transformation or loss in our lives. So sometimes when we're in this space, there may be a part of us that doesn't want to get swallowed whole. So it tries to build something new using the old rules. We look for the shimmers in our current life, the good things, the happy moments, the things that we can feel and say, see, it isn't so bad. We see this a lot when people know that they need to break up with their partner, but are afraid. They may try to cling to the small changes that they're making. I think most of us have heard a friend complain about their relationship for a long time, but find the smallest amount of hope to hold on to so they don't have to leave. It says, coming after the void, this card carries a feeble attempt to battle our destiny, one we likely know that we will lose. But we are grieving our old life, so we try to hold on, even if we know we're changing. When shimmer finds us, it is the tough love that we need. It is here to tell you to fall backwards into this new experience. The old way is no longer available, and the sooner you accept that, the easier it will be to move forward in a genuine way with clarity and even forgiveness right here, you guys. And this card sounds a lot like your patience card. I accept that everything happens in divine order. wonder and gratitude. I'm thankful for this life and the opportunities that it presents, as well as even forgiveness over here and clarity. So this is allowing divine timing and divine order to clear your path up. And your soul contract is going to do that as you guys work to fulfill it. Things are going to become clear. Things are going to naturally move around in your life, leave your life, come into your life. This is just all a part of kind of like flowing with your own journey. Okay, with Shimmer right here. But you guys, pile one, this is it. This is all that I'm seeing for you. Thank you so very much for tuning in. Let me take this time to thank your guides, my guides, our higher self, and amazing spirit for these messages. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye. Pile two, welcome to your reading. So we're going to start off with you guys' tarot cards to check out what soul contracts you have completed in your life or are completing. So getting started, we have here the Knight of Pentacles in reverse. Then the Four of Wands, also in reverse. And the Queen of Pentacles, also in reverse. You guys' soul contract had everything to do with your family unit and severing generational ties with the Knight of Pentacles in reverse related to the home with the Four of Wands in reverse right here. There is something very strong here with the mother as well, or a mother figure, the relationship between you two. And it's one of two things. You either had a very tight relationship with your maternal figure or a very, 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 very fractured one. You guys completed the soul contract when you consciously chose to no longer take the burdens and baggage of the last generation and pass it down. So you may have chosen not to have a family of your own or to raise your family very differently than how you grew up, even if you were close to your maternal figure. Reversals here say that you guys are doing things extremely differently than how you came up. Some of you physically even distance yourself from your family with the Four of Wands in reverse, or maybe you have kept just like a healthy like social distance between your personal life and your family. And okay, so what I'm about to say is pretty out there, so only take this if it resonates for you. But with the Queen of Pentacles in reverse, many of you may have felt like the grown-up or were treated like an adult as a child. So you may have felt more responsible or like an old soul. You may have been the firstborn as well. Or let's say like you have a lot of brothers and you may have been the only daughter, the only sister, or vice versa. If you have a lot of sisters, you might have been the only boy or the only brother. For some of you, there's a lot of either boys in the family or girls in the family. It can be it might be very like uneven. It may be way more masculine energy or way more feminine energy in your family. But yeah, if you resonate, especially with feeling like you were the adult growing up when you were a child, like you were more responsible or more emotionally mature than the grown-ups, if that was the case, it's because you guys were the parental figure in a past life to your family. You were the patriarch or matriarch, and you carried that same, like, not baggage, but you carried that same role into this life. So you guys may have been the ones that protected your siblings, or you may have stood up for, like, let's say, like, you may have stood up for your dad against your mom growing up, or vice versa. If your dad was like the one that was, let's just say, for example, always like picking an argument, you may have taken up for your mom. And the soul contract that you guys have completed has to do with disrupting the inheritance of generational traditions that are highly problematic. So there's like a heaviness that you guys have kept from passing down, especially for those of you in this pile that have done the self-work with a professional like a counselor or a therapist. And for those of you that want to have a family of your own, but maybe you're scared of recreating these traumas or experiences, you absolutely won't. Okay, you guys have literally like flushed this karma out of your ancestral consciousness. You know how there's a collective conscious that all living beings can access and we all share? There's also an ancestral one specific to our lineage that is carried on by the coding within our DNA. And that's all DNA is anyways. It's just genetic data that determines what we inherit from our bloodline. And you guys have rewritten that code, so to say, to where it's like it's fail safe. You guys, in other words, have done the work to counteract the stuff that you don't want to repeat or practice in your own life and relationships. So you don't have to deny yourself of connections or family or community, because you guys have done the work to discern the problematic traditions that, again, that you've completely put an end to. You've completely put a stop to. You've actually removed it from, again, your own ancestral consciousness here. So yeah, this is not something that you guys have to worry about passing down in any way. This is not something that you guys have to, wonder like, am I going to repeat this? Is this something that, is this something that I've healed? Is this something that I've broken? Just know that it is a loud yes from spirit, from the universe, from your higher self, that yes, you have broken this. All of your cards have shown up in reverse here. This is something that you've literally put a stop to. And you guys, your soul came here specifically to do that. And that is the main soul contract that you guys have completed. And I just got a loud ringing in my left ear as well. So there could definitely be a feminine energy here. Yeah, I did mean the mother came through for you guys. There could be a feminine presence here in your pile, or that's around you guys, a very strong, maybe like female ancestor or somebody that's on the other side, on the spiritual side. Okay, watch out for repeating sevens as well. Let's see what the soul contract has helped you, how it's helped you shift consciously. And we have here connection, cedarwood, and underneath the deck we have geranium, nurturing. I love geranium. Anyways, though, cedarwood connection here says trigger statement, it is too much. True statement, I'm grounded in my body. It says use your empathic abilities to connect with others, discern the information you receive, and do not take on what is not your own. You guys are very good with creating vibrational boundaries. Very good at it. Okay, that is something that you either came into this life being very skilled at, or this is something that this soul contract has taught you guys, is how to discern the information that is yours versus other people. And this is why you guys are so good at kind of like deciphering, like, okay, this is something that is, I wouldn't mind passing down because it's fruitful, because it's beneficial, because it is evolved, versus this is something problematic, this is something toxic that I have no intention of ever passing down. And this is why. This was literally like something that you guys kind of came packaged with as a soul incarnate here. And then we have geranium nurturing, trigger statement, I'm all in my head. True statement, I create with pleasure. Take time to rest, and in that time be open to creative pursuits. Surround yourself with things that please your senses and be gentle with yourself. So also what your soul contract has taught you guys how to do, or one of the ways that your consciousness has shifted because of your soul contract, is how to stay in touch with your creativity. And so you guys you may feel at this point in your life way more in tune with your inner child. You may feel, you may be somebody whose creativity is, you're very imaginative, or you're very creative, or you love to create things. You love to work with your hands. Maybe you love to create art. Maybe you guys just love to be creatively inspired. And this is because, again, you guys have learned how to keep that connection intact with your inner child. And this is why. This is something that your soul contract has kind of helped your consciousness shift. So again, you guys may have had to really kind of reconnect to your inner child, especially if you feel as though you didn't have much of a normal child experience, because maybe you felt like what we talked about with your tarot cards down here. Maybe you guys felt like you were the adult growing up. So you guys may have just recently, or as an adult, you may have started to connect more with your inner child because you weren't allowed to be a kid growing up, because maybe you were carrying so much responsibility, or because you guys just weren't given the opportunity because of your childhood. So that is another thing that this soul contract has kind of helped you guys shift in terms of consciousness, is like just how important it is to stay in contact with your inner child as well. Let's see what lessons your soul contract has taught you. We have here pride. And then we have here change. Pride says, I love myself and I see myself in everyone. And then we have change. I understand that nothing can grow or evolve without movement. So a lot of you have had to, probably with the pride card right here, you probably had to eventually warm up to seeing yourself in everyone, because like I feel like maybe like as a child you guys were so serious, or you just weren't allowed to fully maybe feel your emotions or be super sensitive, because there was maybe a lot of instability in your life, or just somebody had to be a voice of reason, or somebody had to kind of like, somebody may have put a lot of responsibility and weight on you as a child, or you may have just kind of taken on that responsibility because no one else did, because it was like a vacant, position in the family. And so for you guys, it may have taken a long time to be proud of your strength, with the pride card here saying, I love myself and I see myself in everyone. And also too, it may have taken you guys a long time to even see the people in your life that you may look back on and say like, they kind of failed me growing up. This may have been one of the lessons that your soul contract taught you, is almost how to empathize with the people in your life that should have been your caretaker. They should have been the one that you were able to lean on, because those roles were so like mismatched. It took you a long time to realize that. But this is one of the lessons that you guys have come into learning, is that your strength is a beautiful thing. It's something to be proud of, while also at the same time being able to empathize with those that maybe you saw as weak growing up, or you weren't able to see their strength as a child. And then we have here change underneath the deck. I understand that nothing can grow or evolve without movement. And this may be, change may be something that took a long time for you guys to appreciate or desire, especially if you look back on your childhood and you're like, it was so unpredictable, it was super unstable, it was super chaotic. Then you may have almost grown up to dislike change or even hate it. And through you guys' soul contract, you may have learned how to appreciate change, and the fact that, through change, it can be a good thing, because that's how we experience progress and positive developments and growth as well. Let's see what the soul contract has released for you in your life, or kind of opened up for you in your life, where it's like, now I've got access to this part of my life. Let's see. Compassion, strength. This is what I was just talking about. And then justice underneath the deck. Yeah, a lot of you guys were kind of like other people's justice growing up as a child. And this is what I was just talking about with you guys with strength and compassion right here, is like, a lot of you have finally learned to be proud of your strength, but also at the same time, you've learned to also have compassion and empathize with those that maybe you looked back on in your childhood and were like, I saw you as weak, or I didn't see you as strong growing up, because you weren't there for me, or you weren't there for, our family. So with compassion, strength, and justice here, this is what has opened up so beautifully for you guys with your soul contract, is strength with compassion, and also too, a sense of justice. And that kind of reminds me of one of the last messages that came through when I was just looking at you guys' tarot cards, which is not to deny yourself the experience of having your own community or your own family, because maybe you're worried about passing down certain bad qualities or bad traits that maybe you saw or picked up on or even normalized in your own childhood. So with justice here, it's like, again, you guys were almost like your own, your soul manifested here to be the ancestral justice that your family line needed. But sometimes when you can feel like you are the karmic retribution, that can create a sense of self-righteousness where we judge other people for their shortcomings or their wrongdoings, right? I feel like with justice here, what's opened up for you guys is that, again, it's like there's a sense of compassion there, where it's like, even though you have very good wherewithal of what's right and what's wrong, and this is why you guys' discernment is so strong in terms of like, this is something from my past or my childhood or my ancestry that was positive or beneficial. So I will happily be the medium that passes that down to the next generation versus this thing over here that this needs to come to an end. You guys have a very good idea of what you need to pass down versus what needs to end with you. And this is that sense of justice here, but it's not justice that you guys are using in spite of what you've gone through. It's more so justice that's coming from a place of compassion and strength. So there's also a lot of really good positive karma coming into you guys' life, that this soul contract, the fact that you guys have fulfilled this soul contract, now this justice can flood into your life. Strength can flood into your life alongside compassion as well. So it's not like you're only experiencing the hardened, callous side of strength, because strength can kind of come in. There's levels to strength, and I feel like now you guys are on the other side of this, where it's like you're not strong because you have to be. Strength is just something that you've learned. It's something that you've grown to appreciate, have pride in, while also being able to maintain your softness. Let's grab another message here from you guys' soul contract. Okay, so we have here the Weaver, Rediscovery, Transition. Underneath the deck here, we have, look, the Guide, Inheritance and Correction. See? You guys have corrected your ancestral line. You guys have definitely corrected it. With the Weaver here, Rediscovery, Transition, it's like you guys have like woven a new... The only way that I can describe it is the way that I did when I was just looking at you guys as tarot cards. It's like you guys have activated a new code in your own DNA. Like if there was spiritual DNA, you guys have completely crafted a whole new coding here. I don't know how else to really describe it. With the Weaver and Rediscovery, Transition, you guys have, through you guys correcting your own ancestral line, you've been able to rediscover the fruits of your family that you can be proud of, right? Because it's like, there's not just like generational karma, there's also like generational gifts too that we end up inheriting, right? And it's like you guys are on the other side of it. Where maybe in the past you only focused on the karma or the bad stuff from you guys' family or you guys' past, where now you're on the other side of it, where you're like, you know what, there's also some fruits here. There's some stuff here that I'm really proud of, that I'm happy to pass down, that I'm happy to keep that tradition going. So it's like you guys are rediscovering the good stuff too. And that is what you guys are bringing more of a light to through your lineage. Also too, with the Guide, Inheritance, Correction, I'm noticing these keys right here, and it sounds a lot like too, like you guys are almost like, this is what I was kind of picking up before, where it's like you guys were, as a child, you may have been like the old soul or the mature one, the emotionally mature one, the responsible one, even over your parents, right? And it's like you guys as a young child may have felt like the guide. You guys manifested as the guide in your family. And that's what I was saying. Like you guys, like you were in a past life, the mother or the father, the matriarch or the patriarch, and you took that role into this incarnation as well. And so the Guide coming through here, it's interesting that it's like, it's confirmation of that message where it's like you guys' old role in that past life, it carried over into this life. But instead of you guys feeling resentful that that was the role that you had to take on as a child, you're on the other side of it where you're correcting that, where like your own kids or the people that you create community and safe space with, or your own family with, whether it's a blood family or just more of like a soul family, you guys are going to pass on a lot of wisdom and a lot of fruits to them, where you are still a very strong spiritual guide for the people in your life, but you're wearing that role so differently now. You're wearing it so it doesn't feel like weight or baggage or an obligation or a burden anymore. It just feels more so like this is one of my purposes here, is to maybe be a mother or a father or a spiritual mother, a spiritual father, a leader in some way, a guide in some way, someone else's, shoulder here, someone else's strength here, but in a way where you guys have finally embraced, now that this soul contract is fulfilled, you guys have embraced it as like, this is just a part of my legacy. This is a part of who I am meant to be or meant to become. This is a part of my purpose and the reason that my soul incarnated here. So you guys have completely woven a whole new kind of like narrative for this soul contract here. So you guys have released like a lot of resentment that came with this soul contract. And then just a final message, you guys, when it comes to your soul contract, pile 2. All right. We have cave, and underneath the deck, we have untethered. Yeah. Definitely not feeling as heavy anymore. But I'm going to read cave out of the book. And cave here says, like all animals, there will always be times where we feel the need to retreat to our den. What I love about cave is that this is not a reactive move. This is not because we have to go lick our wounds and heal, though sometimes that happens simultaneously. The cave is a deep instinctual calling from the belly of our being, beckoning us to return to the lap of the mother. Interesting that the mother came through, and that's also what I picked up when I was just looking at you guys' tarot cards. So there's something here about the mother figure, a maternal figure, but it says it is here where time slows down, where all that seemed to matter fades away, and we can be present. This is a space of integration, so don't worry about doing too much here. You may feel like you need to continue pushing forward in a way, but try not to. If it's coming from a space of force, it certainly will not be beneficial in the cave. When we are called to this place, it's really in our best interest to pause all forward motion. Know that there is so much happening behind the scenes, things that you may not be able to sense. So creating the space for that to happen, to conserve your energy, will make the integration more profound. In a world that is constantly asking for your productivity, honoring this emptiness and unknown and rest can feel rebellious and even shame-inducing for some. If that comes up for you, this is a powerful invitation into trusting yourself to meet your needs no matter what the world around you is saying. And that's so funny because your entire reading, it's like it was coming through as you guys having to be the ones to show up for everyone else, even as a child possibly. And it says right here that honoring the emptiness, unknown, and rest can feel rebellious and even shame-inducing. So it's time for you guys to finally experience a different side of strength where it's also about resting. It's also about having healthy boundaries. It's also about honoring your own energy levels and honoring your own needs when it's like, no, I can't show up for you. I can't show up for someone else. I have to show up for me right now. I have to conserve my energy, my power, my strength right now. So I can show up for others later on. And again, you guys are on that other side of strength now. But yeah, pile 2, this is it. This is all that I'm seeing for you. Thank you guys so very much for tuning in terms of the beautiful soul contract that you guys have completed. Let me take this time to thank your guides, my guides, our higher self, amazing spirit, for these messages. And I will catch you guys in the next one. Bye. All right, pile 3, welcome to your reading. We're going to start with you guys' tarot cards to look into the soul contract that you guys are completing or have completed and what it is basically opening up in your life, or how it has affected you guys spiritually, consciously, all the things. So getting started with you guys' tarot cards, the very first one that we have is the 3 of Wands. This card came out for another pile. You guys may have been attracted to that pile. Then we have here the 7 of Pentacles in reverse. And then the 5 of Wands. Okay, so I have not heard one plane all day. All of a sudden, I start your reading, and the slowest plane decides to come through. And I'm actually going to take that as a sign for some of you intuitively drawn to this pile that a part of your soul contract may have been to move quite a bit. You may have lived a bit of like a nomadic lifestyle, kind of went into a hermit mode at some point in your life. You may have even like gone on some sort of like the word that I'm thinking about is like a pilgrimage. Like maybe you've moved around, maybe you moved around a lot. Maybe you guys have, had to start over a couple of times in your life. You may be able to think back on a few points in times in your life where it felt like you started over in several different areas. Take that if it resonates, but don't try to force it. Also, too, I wonder if 5 is significant to you. There is a cycle here in your pile that was attuned to the number 5, because this 5 of Wands is really standing out to me. It could have been like maybe something to do with a 5-month cycle or a 5-year cycle. The month of May could be important to you. You may have been born in the month of May, or again, it just may be a very important month. You may be a life path 5. You may have been born on the 5th day of the month, or maybe born on a Thursday. Yeah. And I know we don't have any like relationship cards here, you guys, but the first thing coming through is a breakup. If you guys went through a separation, a divorce, a falling out, even the sudden loss, the passing of a loved one, it's like it became a catalyst for your awakening. It triggered a very deep spiritual journey for you. If this was a breakup, it could be that was the soul contract that was completed, but it more so feels like to me on my end, like the pattern of relationships that you guys have been in was the contract that was recently fulfilled. It's like there was a pattern, the same, like a similar theme that kept showing up in all of your relationships. Like, let's just say, for example, you notice that there was some form of betrayal in several different relationships of yours, like with a family member and then a friend and then like a partner, a lover, like that betrayal may be a theme that was very, very, that kept repeating. Again, that's just an example, but you may have noticed that same experience kept popping up in different relationships of yours. And also too, there's a pattern here where, let's say that like if you looked back on the beginning of your relationships, it's like it starts great, very exciting, very promising with the 3 of Wands right here. But then when it comes to maybe trying to build a foundation or longevity or commitment, once things start to get serious with the 7 of Pentacles in reverse right here, then those karmic ties start to really show up with the 5 of Wands. They really get activated. They really start to impact the connection. And it's like there's a battle of wills here where you want one thing and then this person, your partner, whoever this is, they want something else. And then the progress that was in that connection, it just kind of stops and comes to a halt. And I keep hearing it's like your relationships can't get past a certain point. Maybe this is like a 5-month mark, a 5-year mark. If this is like friends or a business partner or a romantic partner, there's something significant here about, possibly significant here about the 5th month, 5th year. It doesn't have to be specifically, but that keeps coming through with your 5 of Wands. That 5 of Wands is really sticking out to me. But you may notice in general that it's like you can't get past a certain point in relationships. Like, let's just say you've been engaged a few times. It's like you haven't actually reached the marriage part just yet, like walking down the aisle. It's like something keeps happening. We're almost where something just like stops. It stops in a very similar place in your connections here. And I keep hearing as well someone's voice saying something to the effect of your relationships not working. So this could have been like a relative, a parent, a sibling, a so-called friend, or even an ex. This could have been like the relative of an ex-partner. Even someone spoke negatively over your partnerships, pile 3. And let me say this, right? Because I am a firm believer in what is meant for you is for you. And there is not one soul in existence that can stop that, because God and your soul agreed on a path that you were fated to experience, period. At the same time, our reality is largely shaped by our beliefs, which is fueled by subconscious programs, right? So it does depend on what you've attuned your reality to. For example, if you were able to say like, yeah, my mom, she always spoke negatively about my love life and said I'd never get married, for example, but you never co-signed it. You never believed it. You always let it roll off your back. You never accepted it. Then the spell that was spoken in her words hold no power, right? But if you were like, maybe she's onto something because it keeps happening, my relationships never work, then this is where you need to denounce any and every single narrative spoken over you in your life that you reject. because you can do that pile 3 with the 3 of Wands right here. And just in general, you can do it. I don't care what card pops up. You have that power over your life. And I say all this to say that, especially if you do like spell work, light a candle or perform a ritual of uncrossing. Especially like if you create your own kind of recipes, your own candles, your own oils, anything like that, anointing oils, it's going to be that much more powerful. But even if you purchase it from someone else, or if you just buy like a generic candle and just sort of like program it to a certain intention, perform a ritual of uncrossing. You can also pray, if that's more your speed as well, for God, even the Archangel Michael, to sever and uproot any people, narratives, or agendas that have been planted in your life that you do not accept. You can even visualize ill-meaning words directed your way being removed. And I wouldn't do a return to sender with the 7 of Pentacles in reverse and the 5 of Wands upright in your reading here, because this is talking about, these 2 cards here are talking about like a quantum entanglement. This is like an energetic knot, and a return to sender, it can definitely keep that energetic cord connected. And, it serves its purpose. A return to sender work, it definitely serves its purpose, especially if you want to send a spiritual message back to someone that says, fuck around and find out, right? But in this case here, we want to totally disconnect from this. We want to uproot these seeds that have been planted, if that's the case, if you guys resonate with this part of the message. So I would definitely focus on uncrossing and banishing work, even purification work. But that's sort of one of the soul contracts here that's kind of popping up in your reading that I wanted to get out of the way. But there's also a contract here being fulfilled that you didn't knowingly sign up for. It's like you didn't read the fine print. So I'm trying to figure out how to explain it. It's like, if you've ever seen the movie The Craft, one of my all-time favorites, that movie, it's like 4 girlfriends, they started covering together, sort of thinking like, shit was sweet. Like they didn't realize the seriousness of what they were messing with and getting into. They did like blood binding spells and everything, like the works, right? And one of them had enough sense eventually to break it towards the end of the movie. And another example here is like someone getting married at a super young age and not really realizing how serious that commitment is. This is giving, you either made a soul contract like in a past life, let's say, that just got completed in this one, or there was a soul tie that you guys made in this life, maybe like earlier in your life somewhere, and you later came to the conclusion that it's like, no, I want out of this. I no longer want to be bound to this, right? This could also be what we discussed earlier, someone else speaking over your life and you unknowingly agreed to it because that's your parent, or let's say this is someone that you were friends with at the time. So it's like you really took their word and believed what they said or were very influenced by it, right? Like this is some 12th house soul tie shenanigans where it's like we're bonded and don't know it or don't mean it. It's like the bond is here, but like it's weak at the same time with the 7 of Pentacles in reverse. The thing that's really keeping it together is these knots, these energy knots. That's the 5 of Wands here. And that's what's being completed for you guys and slowly fulfilled here with every single breakup that you guys go through or separation, or every time this like theme pops up in your connections, in your relationships, this soul tie is slowly, or this soul contract is slowly fulfilled. So it's like this repeat experience is what slowly woke you guys up. And that's what patterns are meant to do, right? But all too often we just kind of end up accepting those cycles because they're familiar. They've always been there, or we've gotten used to them. And it takes a true seer like you guys to look beyond the surface and see something is up with this. There's a reason why this keeps repeating. There's a reason why this pattern is here. There's a reason why I keep experiencing this. It takes somebody that's a true seer to start asking questions and being like, what is this? Because a lot of people, we just kind of accept what's on the surface and we don't really investigate it or look into it any further. But when you're really tuned into your intuition, we all have intuition, but when you're truly tuned into it, when you're truly listening to it, that is when you may start to wonder, what is the message that's being sent to me through this experience or through this cycle here? Because the moment that you see, the moment that you open your eyes, your third eye, for instance, your conscious eyes, your power and free will wakes up with you. And that's when you truly get in like the driver's seat, so to speak. Okay, so let's start grabbing some oracle cards for you. I've kept you guys long enough. Let's see what we get. Let's see how your consciousness has evolved through this soul contract, or through the completion of the soul contract. How your consciousness will evolve. And we have here Clary Sage and then Maleluka. I can never pronounce this. Maleluka evolution trigger statement. Things will never change. True statement. I attract only what is for my highest good. Again, like it says here, things will never change. There's a pattern here. It says the imbalances, look at that. The imbalances in relationships that have been keeping you down are no longer needed. You are ready to transform. You guys are transforming the imbalances in your relationships. That's what's evolving for you guys. And that is how your consciousness as well is evolving through the soul contract, is by you guys waking up to, seeing and believing like, hey, I only attract what is for my highest good. So you guys are able to transmute a lot of these experiences now in your relationships. Like if this pattern does kind of try to pop up again in another relationship, you guys are going to be able to transmute that. You're going to be able to more easily kind of see it and stop it before it really gets going. We also have your Clary Sage trigger statement. There is no hope. This is the card of insight. True statement. There is a higher purpose. Connect with your higher self and allow to be guided to your higher purpose. As the veil of illusion falls away, you will find your answer. So there's even insight. Again, this is what I was picking up when I was just checking out you guys' tarot cards, was like the repeated sort of experiences that keep popping up in you guys' relationships are there to make you wake up, because you guys are like, you see beyond the veil, right? Like you guys see through it to where it's like, okay, there's a reason that this is happening. It's like you guys are you're very sensitive to when your soul tries to send you a message and is saying, hey, wake up, look at this, remember this. But this is exactly how you guys' consciousness has expanded or evolved, is by being able to stabilize the spiritual imbalances in you guys' relationships and connections. And that also kind of tells me too, around the time that your soul contract is fulfilled, you guys may be reconnecting, reuniting with certain people in your life. Like not people that you don't want to reunite with, but like people that, like, let's just say that you just went your separate ways, you needed to at the time. Like these are people that you're able to move past things with. You guys may be definitely reuniting with a few people that in your lifetime, or, and throughout this soul contract that you kind of just distance yourself from, or you guys just went your separate ways because life took you in different directions. You guys will definitely be reuniting with someone with this Maleluka, whatever card right here. Let's see what lessons is your soul contract teaching you. Okay, we have here death and purpose. That's interesting. It says, I'm learning that endings are merely beginnings. That was the message that came up in the very beginning when I was looking at you guys' tarot cards, was there may have been some connections in your life that just ended out of nowhere. It could have even been loved ones that passed on. So just know that through this soul contract, you guys are, like I said, you guys are seers. You're able to see through the veil. And that could actually be literally where some of you in this pile that were intuitively drawn to this pile are actual mediums, psychic mediums. You may be able to literally see through the veil, like all the way to the other side, to the spirit side, the ancestral side, right? And with death and purpose coming out here, purpose, I know what I am here to do. This is, again, more confirmation of exactly what I was talking about. The patterns that you guys kept repeating or experiencing in your relationships were waking you up. There was a reason that you guys kept going through the same experience over and over and over. There was a reason that you guys kept asking the question, what is actually going on here? Like, this is so odd. This is so strange. It's because you guys were waking up, but also what it was doing was waking you up to your purpose. Some of you, your purpose is to awaken to your gifts of being a seer, seeing through the veil, being a psychic medium, communicating with the other side, or even just developing a stronger, closer relationship. to the spirit realm as well. Maybe even getting guidance from them. Okay, with death and purpose here. And also, too, death is talking about I'm learning that endings are merely beginnings, too. So that could have been another lesson, life lesson that your soul was here to learn, how death, or, metaphorical death, how endings and closures are actually just portals to another chapter or a new beginning as well, like it says here. See what is coming into your life after you complete your soul contract, or what part of your life will be opening up a bit more. You guys see that? What did I say? What did I just tell you guys? You guys are going to be reuniting with a few people in your life. It could even be family. We have here trust underneath family, and then we have spirit guide. Okay, your cards keep repeating themselves. This is exactly what I was talking about with your death card right here. You guys with death and purpose right here. You guys are hands down psychic mediums. I don't know if you just reject that fact or you don't want to accept it, but we have here spirit guide. Okay. So this is spirits on the other side that definitely are meant to guide you. They want to guide you. They even want to deliver messages to you as well with spirit guide. You guys also as well are a spirit guide in your own way. And you don't have to be on the other side to be a spirit guide. You can very much well be still in your physical form, your physical incarnation, and serve the role as a spirit guide to other people, to maybe even family, family, friends, romantic partners. Like, you guys are also spirit guides. You guys may even be, like tarot readers or energy workers or something like that. With spirit guide coming out here. But this is another thing that's going to open up for you guys is family. So this could even be you guys reuniting with some family or people in your past that you considered family that you were very close with. You guys are definitely reuniting with them. Or what is opening up in your life is you having your own sense of family. Whether this is your blood family or just a community, a group of people that you're really close with and you consider family. This could be children coming into your life, whether it's blood children, children that you adopt. This could be even your soul partner coming into your life and they're bringing in their spirit guides, their ancestral team as well. And with trust right here, there's even trust being restored when it comes to your closest relationships. Because like I said, I know we don't have any relationship cards here, but I felt it so strongly that this is talking about a repeat when it comes to like repeated relationships just ending in your life over and over and over again. So what is really coming for you guys after you complete the soul contract is family. But this is people that you can trust, because just because you share blood with someone doesn't make them family. I think we all have probably experienced that. I know a lot of us, plenty of us have experienced where it's like we're blood related, but that's definitely not my family. They don't act like family. You guys are going to have people in your life, family in your life that you can truly call family because it's how they show up for you. That's how they support you. That's how they care about you. That's how they respect you. That's how they love you. That's how they honor you and your boundaries and vice versa. You guys are going to have friends that come in your life that truly act like friends, a partner come in your life that is truly a partner for you. Okay. So that's where that trust is coming in at as well. Also too, this trust could be going both ways, talking about you guys developing more trust with the spirit realm as well. Okay. Especially like if your gifts freaked you out before or scared you before, if being a psychic medium kind of scared you a little bit, you guys will develop more trust with that as well. Let's grab a quick message from you guys' soul contract. Okay, we have the Herald and then the Forgotten underneath the deck. The Herald says small regrets and longing. And then the Forgotten says missed opportunities and a fear of failure. So a message from you guys is soul contracts. For those of you intuitively drawn in this pile that may have been dealing with some form of regrets, you may have even been longing something from the past. Again, this could even be certain people that you left in your past. Because life just took you guys in different ways. The message from your soul contract here is again confirmation about something coming back into your life that you guys may, this could be something that you either regret or you miss or you long for. So if there's a certain person or someone, and then look at the Forgotten right here. This to me looks like a soul that's like going to the other side with the forgotten, missed opportunities, fear of failure. But that's what it looks like to me, like a soul like crossing over. So again, that could be a little bit connected to the message about spiritual mediumship coming through, and especially too with the forgotten. So again, the message from your soul contract is it's here to wake you guys up, to help you remember with the forgotten right here. It's also telling you guys, this contract is also reminding you guys that you have not failed with fear of failure right here. You haven't missed any opportunities. You are exactly where you were meant to be. Some of you, you may even feel yourself like you are forgotten because of the experiences that your soul contract has brought into your life. You may feel like people moved on from you and forgot you. And that is so not the case. There's actually people that, again, you guys separated from, and they're also regretting maybe how the relationship ended up, or they're longing to have you back in their life as well. So that's the message here from you guys' soul contract. There was just a journey that you guys had to go through. And then a final message here to you guys. Okay, we have here dogma underneath the deck, and then fog. And fog says when we're in a space of deep shifting, our minds are a few steps behind, and this is exactly how it should be. If you were surrounded by thick fog, you likely wouldn't try to paint what lies beyond it. It isn't our job to try to catch up and make sense of everything. When things feel chaotic, our best option is to serve as a vessel for change to occur. This means that we aren't trying to identify what's happening or explain it to others in a way that they will understand. This is the perfect time to keep asking questions. The fog finds us when things are changing on a subconscious and cellular level. When we have acknowledged things need to change, this is your death card right here, and our old ways of being won't work anymore, but so much of the foundation is crumbling in ways we can't feel or sense. It is happening behind the scenes in our mind, and our conscious brain really can't keep up. Rather than fighting it or identifying with the change is happening, you can create an inquiry practice. How do I want to feel? In what ways am I engaging in inherited patterns? Again, that message about patterns popping up. It says, in what ways do those inherited patterns not support me? What is at the core of this pattern? Yeah, this is exactly what I said. And you guys is, when I was just reading you guys' tarot cards, it's like these patterns are happening over and over again to wake you guys up. And these are the inquiries for this message with this card here. It says, in what ways do those inherited patterns not support me? What is at the core of this pattern? How am I fueling these patterns? And to break free of them, what sort of thoughts do I need to cultivate? And so with the fog here, it's about deep subconscious change and confusion. Again, this is that quantum entanglement, those energy knots that we talked about in the Five of Wands causing this confusion. That is what is being flushed out as you guys complete this soul contract, is the confusion where it's like, why does this keep happening? Why do I keep experiencing these patterns? That is what is being uncrossed in you guys' life. So don't hesitate to do some sort of uncrossing spell, ritual, or energy work, or to pray, visualize, whatever resonates for you when it comes to doing your spiritual work, your energy work. Even a spiritual bath would be really, 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 really powerful for you guys. Also, too, it could even help wake up you guys' mediumship abilities if you need help kind of seeing through this fog here, because something is still a little bit foggy, but it's going to really open up for you guys, because you have to understand, pile 3, you guys are seeing through fog. You're seeing through, in other words, the veil. Okay. So a lot of what you guys are seeing is not what is. You're seeing through a lot of illusions. And this is what is going to be cleared up for you guys as you work to complete the soul contract. But other than that, pile 3, this is it. This is all that I'm saying for you guys. Thank you so very much for tuning in. Let me take this time to thank your guides, my guides, our higher self, and amazing spirit for these messages. And I will catch you guys in the next one. Bye.